The perfect 10 for the Socceroos. Socceroos journey really beginning in earnest. It's forced over the line. Our Mobile. It's Martin Boyle who found the corner of the goal. Australia off to the flyer, expected to make it 6 points out of 6 tonight. And Australia have the goal that they craved.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Socceroos Insider. My name's Michael Zappone, your host, and another big show coming up for you. Socceroos boss Graham Arnold to join us in a moment, and experienced defender Aziz Behich also to join us from Turkey, where he's about to play for his club side over there. The squad announcement is imminent. Looking forward to those two big fixtures against Oman and Japan. Obviously, that big game against Japan, always one to look forward to on the calendar. You can catch all the action on 10, 10 Bold and 10 Play as well. The first game against Oman, Australia's home game in Qatar on the 5:30 Eastern in Australia, and then against Japan on October the 12th at 9:14 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Graham Arnold's been good enough to join us, home away from home now in Qatar. Arnie, you've just arrived over there, and you're well acclimatised and well equipped to deal with the conditions over there, given the great result you had there last time.
Yeah, thanks, Zappers. It's obviously a great surroundings over here, one we're very familiar with now. We've played a lot of games in the Middle East. The boys are extremely comfortable here, and we're grateful to the Qatari Football Association, for hosting this game, and we're looking forward to it.
We've got some social media questions coming up for both Arnie and for Aziz Behich later on in the show. But Arnie, let's get straight into the squad announcement. Here is the squad for the Socceroos in the next two games, and notably, Fran Karacic and Chris Economides are the two new names in the squad when we compare it to the last squad. Some great inclusions for you.
Yeah, look, it's pretty much the same squad as last time. We're very grateful to Melbourne Victory with releasing Chris Economides for this camp. We needed a bit of extra firepower up front, and Chrissy's been working extremely hard at Melbourne Victory in their pre-season, and we're looking forward to bringing him into camp. Franz Karacic did a great job for us in Q8, we're a little bit short on that right fullback side of things. So Fran was injured with a calf injury for the first two qualifiers, but now he's fighting fit and doing well. So we bring him back into the squad.
Let's go line by line, Arnie, through the squad, starting with the goalkeepers. And great to see Matty Ryan get some game time in Spain, making his debut with his new club, Real Sociedad, last week.
Yeah, look, we've got three great goalkeepers there. Unfortunately, the Australian goalkeepers at the moment are not, it's trouble getting them out of Australia because of the quarantine when they go home. But Matty's obviously doing really well at Sociedad. Obviously, he's not playing at this moment, but he played in the Europa League last week, and he's in great form. So, yeah, we're very strong in that department.
Let's look at the defensive line. You touched on Fran Karacic. He has returned from injury, struggling to get game time at Brescia. They're second on the table in the Serie B, so that return from injury for him has been via the bench. But they're a good side, Brescia, looking to play in the Serie A next year, and he was outstanding, Karacic, for you earlier in the year in those qualifiers.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know that, if you're in the Serie B and you're at a very good club, that you would be working extremely hard. And if you're in as I said, a strong club, well, then they've got great depth, and it makes it even harder to play. But at the end of the day, he's fit, he's doing well. And, as I said, we welcome him back into the squad because he did very well for us in Q8.
Don't forget one of those defenders, Aziz Behich, to join us shortly, so stay tuned for that. Let's look to the midfield now. Good to see Denis Genro getting plenty of game time in France in Ligue 2. He's starting over there and doing really well by all reports.
Yeah, and Zappa's, he's gone to Toulouse and after the Olympics, and he's stepping up and doing extremely well for the club there. And as a young boy with a lot of talent, brings a lot of energy into camp, and he's going to give me headaches for who to play in these two games, because we're very, very strong in that department.
Speaking of strong, Tommy Rogic started for Celtic despite the result. A big game for him to start during the week against Bayer Leverkusen, and he's been getting plenty of game time. And another milestone coming up for one of the Socceroos, Tommy Rogic, looking like he'll play his 50th Australian game this camp.
Well, that's something I didn't know, so thanks for letting me know. We can celebrate that after after that game. But look, Tommy's been in very, very good form at Celtic. He's getting a lot of minutes under Ange, and you can see that he's very happy in himself, and that's very important when Tommy's like that, and then he does a great job for the team.
It was great to see Aaron Moy return to the fold in your last camp as well. They're in a break of the season in China, so tell us what you've been doing and what the staff's been doing to keep Aaron Moy sharp and match fit.
Yeah, look, Aaron's been back in Scotland with the family. He's been given an individual program. Andrew Clark went across to Scotland during that break, spent a week with Aaron and worked him extremely hard on his own. And Clarkie's come back and said he's in great shape and he could easily play, a full game. So he's in a very good headspace at the moment. As I said, he's with his family. He's very happy, and he's very fit and ready to go.
You touched on Chris Economides earlier. I just want to just bring the conversation back to him for a moment. We know how difficult it is. I do, being in Melbourne with current lockdowns and restrictions. Tell us about how you've managed to get Chris over the line, and whether he'll need to quarantine when he's home, or is that still all being worked through?
Yeah, look, it's still being worked through, but as I said, it's great, with great gratitude to Melbourne Victory, Tony Popovich, John Didalitza at Melbourne Victory, that and the hunger that Chrissy has to play for his country, that he wants to come away. He's happy to go back to, after this camp, back to Australia and do the 14 days quarantine. If that's what he has to do, we're still working on that. But otherwise, if he has to do the quarantine, we'll get exercise equipment and everything in the hotel to make sure that he keeps his fitness up to return to Melbourne Victory.
I know a lot of casual observers of the game, perhaps not serious observers of the game, would look at the fixture and say, Oman, oh yeah, they'll be a pushover, and then the big one really is against Japan. But we know, looking at Oman's performances so far, that they'll be anything but a pushover. What sort of what can you tell us about what you're expecting from them as an opponent?
Yeah, look, defensively very, very strong. They defend very deep. A typical Middle East team that try to hit you on the counter. But for me, it's one game at a time.
Arnie, a lot's been spoken about the Socceroos' great start to this campaign. When you look at that table, I'm sure you're really pleased. But as a coach, I'm sure you're looking to the future as well. But when you look at Japan and what's come, it's always an exciting prospect for Australian teams heading over there and playing a great rival.
Yeah, look, as I said, Zappers, it's one game at a time for me, and our focus at the moment, and the focus when the boys get into camp, is all about Oman, here in Qatar, playing in an air-conditioned stadium on a great surface and getting those 3 points, and it's one game at a time. We don't want to look too far ahead, but yes, it's been a great start, but I expect that to continue on.
Just one question from our viewers, Arnie, coming through today. Denny Juric, please ask Arnie about Denny Juric, if he's contacted him and what's been said, and also about Gianni Stensness and the decision to change allegiances. I'm sure he's spoken to Arnie about switching to Australia. Can you give us an update on those two?
Yeah, Zappers, I spoke to Denny about 4 days ago. He's at the moment making a decision over the next 3 or 4 weeks. He's got an ankle injury at the moment, and he wouldn't have been available for this camp anyway. We had a great conversation. Obviously, his brother Tom has played for the Socceroos. For me, it's all about the person who makes that. He has to make that decision. He has to want to play for the Socceroos, and we had a great conversation around that and what the future looks like for Denny. So we are in touch with him, and we'd love nothing more than for Denny to play for Australia and the Socceroos. Gianni Stesnis, yes, he has chosen to play for Australia and play for the Socceroos. We're just waiting for the paperwork to be cleared by FIFA before we can get Gianni into camp. He's doing extremely well at his club, and he'll be a great acquisition for the Socceroos.
Well, we thank you for joining us again, and we wish you all the best. Look forward to watching the Socceroos in action once again in a few days.
Thanks, Appers. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Graham Arnold, Socceroos boss, joining us on the Socceroos Insider. Aziz Behich to join us shortly, and just as he joins us, let's remind you of what's coming up for the Socceroos, Oman and Japan, the next two fixtures, and a huge game against Japan coming up on October the 12th, and then, of course, the first one against Oman. We know these Socceroos boys love playing a little bit of FIFA. Aziz Behich is probably one of the most active when it comes to FIFA, and it's no coincidence that FIFA launched their new game this week, featuring the Socceroos.
Just what they wanted and just what they deserve. It's turning into an absolute demolition job. And just look at the celebrations. And a goal here. There it is. They've done it. They just can't keep them quiet. Joy unconfined.
There you go. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Socceroos fans and Socceroos players playing as the Socceroos on the new edition of FIFA. And one of the greatest exponents of FIFA, I've seen him at it in Socceroos camps, is Aziz Behich. Thanks for joining us, Aziz. Are you still the champion of FIFA amongst the Socceroos boys now that Matt Leckie's back home?
How you going, Zappers? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'd like to think so. We didn't get much game in last camp. Me and Big Boily were on the PGA tour on the PlayStation. We changed it up a bit.
And what did you make of have you had a look at the Socceroos graphics and the celebrations and all those sorts of things that have just been released? You scoring a goal here?
Yeah, well, hopefully next camp we can get one of those in. Yeah, look, it's the first I've seen of the celebrations. I was actually laughing at a few of them. I think it was Harry's one. Completely different in real life.
And Boily doing a breakdance. Any chance that he might rip that out if he scores over the next two games?
Yeah, I think if there's anyone that can do it, I think Boily can pull that out of the bag.
We're talking about the closeness of the squad and the family, and that's really been something that's come through loud and clear. Watching the Socceroos on and off the pitch over the last few months, especially, and the results away from home. You haven't been able to play at home, but just take us inside the camp and tell us what Graham Arnold's done, what you've done as leaders of the team to ensure that everyone's so close.
Yeah, look, that's one thing that we really focus on is having a tight group. I think that brings a lot of success, and the family environment since Arnie's come in, it has been one of the most important things. And with new players coming into camp, us as older players is just making them feel welcome and just to be comfortable so they can show their best football when they get the chance. And I think our success so far is just our brotherhood, and every time we come together, it's like we've never been apart.
Now you're in Turkey. You're playing for your club Giresunspor this weekend. Just to tilt the camera over for us, because you showed me a little bit earlier the view from the team hotel. Not bad. We're all a bit jealous in Australia. We're all locked out at the moment. Where are you?
Just in Izmir at the moment. We play against Göztepe tomorrow afternoon. And
tell us a little bit about the new club and the start to the season. Obviously, not where you want to be in terms of the ladder, but what about the football you're playing and what's the club like?
Yeah, look, I'm really happy to be here. It's a great club. This club hasn't been in the Super League for I think about 44, 45 years. So it's a special season for the club. Obviously, not the start we wanted. I think we're playing good football. At the moment we're just haven't been hitting the back of the net, which is costing us in a lot of the games. So hopefully tomorrow that I'm positive we can turn that around. We've improved every game. We're a new team, a lot of new transfers, so it's taken a while to adapt to each other. But yeah, look, like I said, we've improved every game watching, and tomorrow I'm pretty confident. We can get our first 3 points.
Now, we've had a few questions come through for Aziz Behich, one of the most popular members of the squad. We've had to whittle them down, Aziz, because otherwise we'll be here all night. But let's start with our Twitter questions. And what's been the most interesting country football has taken you to? Most interesting country. I'll read that correctly. That football has taken you to. This is one of our first questions.
Yeah, look, playing for the Socceroos, I think, we go to a lot of countries. But for me, I think one of the most interesting one was Honduras in the qualifiers. Playing away there, really not knowing what to expect, but going there, the atmosphere was amazing. Obviously, those 2 games we qualified for a World Cup, but that away game in Honduras always sticks in my head.
Very good. The next one, do you have a personal pre-match routine or thing that you must do before each game?
Not really. Just the one thing, when I just obviously put my boots or my shin pads or my socks on, I always tend to always just do my right leg first, my right foot, and that's about it really.
Dom, the kit man, does a good job in getting the room ready. I know he's very precise about where he places everything, so he's making sure everything's in order. This is from Dino. What was your inspiration for the man bun? This is a new addition to the hairstyle. Look at that.
No, to be honest, it was just a couple of years ago when obviously all this pandemic started, and I was in Istanbul. Obviously, like you at the moment, Zappers, the barbers were closed in Turkey as well. And my hair just grew out, and the next chance I had to go to the barber, he just said to me, let's just give it a try. And at the moment, I'm kind of stuck with it, and yeah, we'll see how long I continue to keep it.
Yeah, looking very sharp, mate. I'm very envious of that zero you've got on the side there. I'll have to get the razors out myself soon. Obviously, you're really close to Matt Leckie. We know that's been a relationship that's been over the years really strong. You'd love to see him back, no doubt. And we saw a little tribute from you and Martin Boyle at the last camp.
Yeah, look, obviously, me and Lex are both from Melbourne. We knew each other growing up, and obviously he's a big part of our squad. Me, him and Boyley, the last few camps and in Kuwait, we actually got like a little bond happening. But like I said, the whole group's great. But obviously with Lex, like I said, we're both from Melbourne, and obviously him being one of our leaders and captains, and I know how much he wants to be in camp as well. Obviously, it's a bit difficult, living in Australia and having family and whatnot. So me and Boyley, we thought before the game when we're on the bus, said to Boyley, "You scored today. We've got to do something for Lex." And yeah, look, it was something for him. And we spoke to him after the game, and he was having a bit of a laugh about it as well. So yeah, look, like I said, we're missing him a lot. But hopefully he'll be back with us soon, and yeah, we get to see him again.
Very good. I just want to touch on the depth of the squad. It's something that Arnie's been working on since his appointment. We saw with the Olyroos, bringing some of the Olyroos in, and especially around your spot, there's a fair bit of competition for that spot now. Do you feel that when you go into camp, and does that help you rise to another level as a player?
Yeah, look, it's important. Like Arnie always says, I think it's healthy for the squad to have a lot of depth and different players in every position. Yeah, look, at the moment, we have a great squad. I think we have a great mix of experience and a lot of young boys coming in through the Olyroos, which is great to see. They had a few good games in the Olympics, and obviously working under Arnie, I think that they'll only get better. And yeah, look, competition is always healthy. At the end of the day, we're all in this together, and our main goal is to qualify for the World Cup. And however we can push each other, and that's what we do every camp. Every training, all the players give 100%. And yeah, look, like I said, at the end of the day, our main goal is as a nation, as a group of players, is just to get to that World Cup.
We thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on the weekend for your club, and look forward to seeing you back in the green and gold this week. A couple of huge fixtures, Oman and Japan. All the best, and thanks for taking the time to chat to us on Socceroos Insider.
Thanks for having me, Zappers. Take care.
Thanks, Aziz. What a gentleman Aziz Behich is, and now a big part of the Socceroos squad. He has been for several years now. Before we say goodbye, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sending in your questions. A reminder of just coming up for the Socceroos: Australia taking on Oman as our home game from Doha, Qatar. That game is on at 5:30 a.m. Perfect time for us in Australia to get up a little bit early with a cup of coffee and watch the Socceroos in action against Oman. And then a huge one against Japan. Of course, we love these fixtures over the years. They've produced some classics. Japan versus Australia from Saitama Stadium in Saitama, Japan. You can catch all those games on 10 Bold and 10 Play. Thank you for tuning in. From me, Michael Zappone, and the rest of the team at Football Australia, thanks for tuning in.
The perfect 10 for the Socceroos. Socceroos' journey really beginning in earnest. It's forced over the line. Mobile. It's Martin Boyle who found the corner of the goal. Australia off to the flyer, expected to make it 6 points out of 6 tonight. And Australia have the goal that they craved.